Hello, and welcome to our channel, Vedic Solutions. And I am your host, Harinaman Chintamani. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to address some of the recent news events, a very big one recently, a wonderful personality who has emerged in the last many years as someone who it is obvious that the Lord is protecting, and who just missed death by a quarter of an inch. There is a saying, whoever the Lord wants to protect, no one can kill. And whoever the Lord wants to kill, no one can protect. So, understanding this, let us all begin to realize that in this great crisis that we are experiencing in the world, we have begun to see people in every sphere of life not being ashamed to speak about God. Because we must realize that God, who is the creator of everything, who we are a part of as his eternal parts and parcels, that means we are intrinsically good. How can he not be a part of every sphere of life, every aspect of our life? How is it that we allowed these atheists, a small group of atheists, to push God out everywhere? And now the Supreme Lord is admonishing his children and saying, are you happy? Do you see where your society is going? So much sense gratification to the level of perversion we could not ever have imagined. And that is what happens when we take God out. And now everyone is speaking about God, and the future president of the United States of America is speaking about God so much. He is a man of great faith, and we are seeing others of faith rising up and saying, we will stand for what is right. We are willing to risk our lives to speak what is truth. We are not willing to go along anymore with dissembling and with lies, and having it be politically correct not to mention God. That is the most politically incorrect thing we could possibly do, because unless God is in every part of our lives, then there will not be success. It's not possible. Because the Supreme Lord and all that he is represents all that is good and moral and righteous in this world. And we're seeing a lack of goodness and a lack of righteousness, lack of morality, aren't we? So to reestablish that means to reestablish God. And first, we must do that within our own hearts. And part of that, which I would like to address today, has to do with honoring all the citizens of this country. As this great personality who is bringing this country together spoke about, let us heal the divisions. So I offer to you something Srila Prabhupada said decades ago. He said to us once, what have the poor animals done that you are killing them? Are they not also citizens of your country? What a thought. Did we ever think of the animals as citizens? We have actually denied their souls. We have denied that they have a soul to make it convenient so that we can put them on our dinner table. But they have souls, and the mothers weep when their calves are taken away. They weep, the same as we weep when we lose a child. Did you ever think of that? So we are eating the flesh of poor innocent animals who have died in a terrible way, in fear. And we're taking that into our bodies and we want peace on earth. Does that make sense? It does not. So we must recognize that all the living beings are citizens, and that was the extraordinary example of the great kings who ruled this planet. And yes, they were so powerful. They ruled this entire planet for millions of years, and those histories have been kept from us. Why? They were called Raja Rishi, saintly kings, trained in self-control, trained in compassion, trained in humility, so that when they came into that position, they had compassion for their people. Their people saw them like a father. They saw their citizens like children to be taken care of. How far is that from what we have today? The idea of taking care of the people like children. So we can begin to take care of our children. We can stop being on our cell phones when we are with our children. We can honor them. We can stop being on cell phones when we walk through a checkout line and make contact with that human being who is standing there hours a day trying to put food on the table for their family. And many of them are women, aren't they? Who have no one to take care of them, and older women. Maybe we can take a moment to offer them a smile and a kind word, instead of being on our cell phone and thinking that whatever we're speaking about is so all-important, more important than a living being who is in front of us. And isn't that what they're trying to do? To take us away from our hearts, our souls, from each other? So we can resist that. We can change that, each of us in our own lives. And we can begin to think about very seriously how every living being is a part of God. How can we honor those living beings? That was the greatness of the Vedic culture. Because it was based on the science of the soul, because education was based on the science of the soul, that level of compassion and understanding was instilled from the very beginning of life. Imagine a society with that level of respect for life. It means a society that flourishes on all levels. It means a society abundant with opulences, with goodness, with beauty. Because all of that is rooted in love of God. Because when one loves God, one will love every living being. Just as a father and a mother love all of their children. Correct? So, although we may feel overwhelmed by the forces that are at work on the planet to try to destroy it, I promise you there is a golden age coming. It has already been foretold. And we are part of that transition period, and it is not easy. Any transition period is difficult, and this is very difficult right now. But each of us has an opportunity in our own lives to make changes. So we invite you to take advantage of the wonderful books that we have available at our website, purelyprabhupada.com, to come together with one another, to support one another in reading, in learning. You are always welcome to write in with your questions. We're so happy to answer them. Thank you for listening. Please take advantage of what these books have to offer. Hare Krishna.